It's a problem with the brain where it's like a chemical imbalance or something like that, and it essentially messes with your spelling and word placement.
No, I don't really know anything about that.
It's like with your inability to spell and make out certain things. And like some people can't understand sarcasm because of dyslexia and stuff like that.
Hi, I'm Iestyn Harris. I'm dyslexic. I was diagnosed when I was 8 years old. Not many people know about the symptoms of dyslexia. It is estimated in 1 in 10 people in the UK have some degree of dyslexia.
You may be looking for just a slight delay in reaching milestones, like possibly learning to speak. If you think more widely about dyslexia, there can be difficulties with sort of coordinating what you do, deciding what to do first, memory, that sort of thing. Yeah. So you might see somebody very young display those sort of things. It can be difficult just to spot as a teacher because dyslexia occurs across the range of abilities. You might be a real high flyer and have dyslexia, or might be slightly slower and have dyslexia. So teachers don't always know what to look out for. One of the key things that often is a bit of an alarm bell to teachers is that if there's a big difference between what a pupil can say and what they can write, or how quickly they're picking up learning to read and that sort of thing. And if a pupil is being taught how to read, and if they're having plenty of practice, really there shouldn't be a reason why they can't read. And if there is a reason, if they're really struggling, then you would think, well, maybe there's something else like dyslexia there. What we find is that a lot of people develop like coping strategies, so they can mask it quite well. Especially if they're quite clever kids, they might find a way around having to read long passages. They might be able to work well with their friends so that they kind of talk about the answer and then can somehow, use them to help them in their own work. They may be very good at avoiding doing certain things, so it doesn't always become really obvious. Again, there may well be a difference between what they can do when they speak and what they can do when they write. If somebody by the age of 11 is struggling to read, I would definitely want to know why and want to look into that. And even spelling, really they should be developing good patterns, and with input they can, obviously. As you get older, the sort of load of work increases as well, so you have to do more independently. There's more things like exams, there's more pressure and time pressure. So if somebody is struggling to finish their work consistently, if they just can't organise their thoughts to get them down in the right paragraphs, I would look for that. If they know the subject but they just can't get on with revising it, or they can't get on with writing it, I'd want to look into that as well. And I suppose by that age you can look at things like speed of processing, so how quickly they read, how quickly they can process visual cues and auditory cues. Also things like working memory, so if somebody's not very good at mental maths, if they just can't hold the sort of sums in their head, they keep slipping out. Vocabulary can be a teller as well, if somebody is not very good at picking up vocabulary and they need it repeated lots and lots of times, or just concepts, if they need that repetition, then that might be a red flag as well. There's lots of different things it can be, but for all those symptoms as well, there might be another reason. So that's why you need to sort of have a proper assessment, I suppose, to weed out what are the reasons behind these difficulties. Is it dyslexia, or is it they have another education? Is it sort of a visual processing problem? There can be lots of things, but those are the sort of red flags that we'd be looking for.
I am off home to talk to my mother about the symptoms and how I got recognised with dyslexia. For me,
it was definitely your delayed speech.
Yeah,
right?
That was a big one. That
was the biggest one. And then the forgetfulness, where I teach you phonics, small words, one day, and the next day you would have forgotten them. And I found that was frustrating both for me and for you, because you didn't like it either, that you'd forget. No. And to be honest, you're still a little bit like that now with the forgetfulness. Yeah. Because if I ask you for 3 things, you'll ring me up and ask me what one was.
Yeah. But that's improved a lot.
Oh, you have improved a lot. Definitely you have. The teacher that realised that you had major problems was an ex-teacher of mine. She was just finishing in the school. and I knew her quite well, and she pulled me to one side, and I could tell her what I thought that you did, and she could see it from an outsider and an educator's point of view. Okay. And between us both then, we got you into a unit where you got more help. You got speech therapy and one-to-ones, and if you didn't have one-to-one, then you had 1 to 3.
What's 1 to 3?
Like there was 3 of you and 1 teacher.
Ah.
So, you know, you had a lot more help than what you would have had in a class of 30 or 35.
Okay.
And it was just because of that one teacher that you had that realised.
You know a bit about dyslexia now. You know all the traits.
Now I do, more than I did then. Because you get an interest. Once you've got a child with something, that's your interest. You're like a dog with a bone. Let's find out about this. How can I help them?
How can I help them? Do you think if you knew what you know now back then, would it be a different thing?
Personally, I don't think so, because I was quite pushy.
Yeah.
I knew there was something that you had to be taught a different way, and I knew what I wanted, and I just went for it. But that's just me. Other parents, maybe they're not so pushy in the fact that they don't really know, so they think, oh, should I do this or shouldn't I do that? But my character is go for it. You know, these are my kids, they've got to be sorted out, they've got to have the best. I want them to have a chance in life. And I think people that have got dyslexic children now coming up would benefit from learning about it.
This is Cory Harris, who has dyslexia. I gave him a book to read so we can talk about what it is he finds hard. What is it exactly, is it for you, the reading? Is it, you said before filming it was just you slowed reading.
Right, yeah.
Is there anything else?
So like I find when I'm reading, I won't actually like, I can't always picture what the scene they're trying to describe is in my head.
Okay.
I'll have to double read a paragraph sometimes, or I just like can't.
You
I can't picture what they're trying to say sometimes.
Okay.
And like the first paragraph, I completely forgot what it was all about. I understand like the speech stuff a lot better, where there's dialogue, because you can see who's saying what. But when it's another thing I like struggle with is like I always like skip lines or reread the same line twice, or should I try to follow with my finger.
Yeah, well, when I've read books, I don't read books now, but when I've read books, I'm like, wait, what just happened?
Yeah.
And you're in it, and then you're like, it's gone. The first paragraph you just read, like you just said, you forgot the very first paragraph, and I do that all the time, you know. I noticed for you used your finger a lot to read. Do you find it hard to like, navigate with the lines?
If I'm not, like, if I'm just reading like this, I'll just end up reading the same line twice, or I'll skip a line.
Is it like you gotta really focus on it?
Yeah, I either gotta read really slowly and think about each word, or I skim through it and then just not realise what's going on, or what it's trying to convey.
Right. So, a lot of people say that with dyslexia, letters move, or there's a visual. Is that the same case for you, or is it different? Do they not move in a way people expect? You know, like I think a lot of time it's exaggerating when people say, "Oh, I'm dyslexic. I see letters move everywhere."
I don't see letters move. No.
Okay. Well, I'm the same. I don't see it.
Sometimes I'll see a word that's similar to another word, and I'll just think it's that word instead of the original word. But
nah. There is no real symptoms you can pinpoint. Not every dyslexic person has the same symptoms. Not many people know about the symptoms of dyslexia. It is estimated in 1 in 10 people in the UK have some degree of dyslexia. So this documentary is to inform and show the symptoms. I am off home to talk to my mother about the symptoms and how I got recognised with dyslexia. This is Cory Harris, who has dyslexia. I gave him a book to read so we can talk about what it is he finds hard. There is no real symptoms you can pinpoint. Not every dyslexic person has the same symptoms.